Right, it's still the 22nd of April 2024 and it's turning fucking nasty as soon as I get back home from getting from where I went to on the bus today. This is a continuation of the banging and shouting that's already occurred and the aggressive shouting that occurred while I was walking up the stairs. So we got, obviously what I've told you, I'll just give you the latest. Breaking in. I'm going to fucking smash his fucking teeth in, I'm going to punch the bastard out, inject him with HIV and stamp on his fucking face. I'm going to fucking kill him, he's a fucking child rapist. He fancies Grace Waterman, I'm going to fucking knife him. Not very fucking happy mood, Justin said. Being stabbed with chicken pox. So hot. Then there's banging to HIV. Shoot him with HIV. I'm going to rip his fucking face apart. I'm going to fucking smash his fucking door down. I'll take his life. I'm going to fucking knife him in the fucking heart. He's a fucking child rapist. He shouldn't be here. And then obviously after that, HIV, next time I see him, I'm fucking beat him up. I'm going to fucking take him out of the traffic lights. He keeps walking past the play school. Smash you with HIV banged. And then there's obviously other stuff that's being banged as well, and the same stuff is basically what I'm saying. I'm taking his fucking life away. I'm not fucking afraid of a CCTV in the building. I've had enough of him being here. He's a fucking rapist. And then obviously this person or somebody in the building says that I'm Savem when that's not my name. So we've had all that on top of what I mentioned on the previous video, and there's also bits and pieces I can mention as well. And if we go on to the next page, I'm fucking ready. I'm gonna fucking beat him. This is turning ugly. I'm gonna fucking have him, alright? I'm gonna take his life away with a knife. I'm gonna inject the bastard with a HIV syringe. The bastard's going. Child rapists keep on giving him hell. That's not in order, by the way. That's just the way I writ it from when I heard it. So I was sort of writing it down as I was listening as it was going. And obviously I didn't manage to get it audio recorded, but for some unknown reason this is kicking off for no reason at all. Microwave oven, he's losing his fucking life, fucking so hot, fucking rapist. Something like that was said. I think that was one I wrote down on the other sheet. It was something like that was said. I'm trying to get the exact way it was said. Oh shit. Anyway, that's how it is, and there's been a few loud bites to erections, and there's been a few corrupt dog bark sounds. It's not as bad as what I have known it, but there's a few sounds coming out in a corrupt manner, like you're being like they're going to fire hell, rapist, or whatever, you know. So I'll leave it there. I'll keep you updated on anything else. Back goes Grace, sexual car walking up. Right before that, dog barks being beat up, child rapist, loud bites to erections. Busting inbound, burning starts again. Dangerous speed of auto just said Stephanie just inbound. Eternal bleeding Bangler's head. And it looks like where I'm going is extremely busy, which is to the local supermarket Aldi's to buy a few things to save me doing it tomorrow, because I'm not in the best of some moods. You're shot dead like the fucker Dad said from the car. Just photographed the registration plate. Nice spit talking lines in my hair. Well, I forgot what the next one. Danger said. Well, I went to Aldi's. There wasn't really many problems. It was quite good. But when I got back, someone outside the back of my place, back on where my window is, in their mid-20s, rough people, a couple of people with baseball caps and sort of short hair along the sides and back with a bit more on the top, in a sort of style gangster way, just had a go at me, shouting up, telling me that not to have anything to do with Grace, which is one of the neighbours here, saying that, well, you'll be beaten to death. So I'm not very happy about that. But what was interesting about that is less than a minute later, banging occurred in sequence to threats. Right, I got to put up with a scum bastard saying that you've molested Sadie when I've never raped her. Ricky Hux is responsible for anything like that. So we got bow whistles. You rape Sadie Downer, you're being injected with HIV. You rape Sadie, you're being injected with HIV. You're being smashed in, you're being knifed, you're a fucking rapist. That's all I've got for the next section. And obviously loud bike's time to a stretch. Just a repeating fucking issue of this all fucking evening, afternoon should I say. Justin, at 11, they won't stop this one fucking threat of this fucking Sadie business. It's just going on and fucking on, so I'm getting a bit pissed off of it. I've never had sex with this Sadie Dando, or Ian Dando, or Stephanie Hill, Stephanie Jill, nor Amy Weston, nor Amanda Millis, or Amanda whatever it is, nor Kimberly Cox, or Kimberly Cox Hobbs, or whatever her surname is nowadays. And other people as well. It's just made up fucking shit, and it's coming back at me with threats to smash me in with a knife, to knife my face apart, to fucking stamp on my fucking face and inject me with HIV, or to burgle me, or to set the fucking place alight, and I'm getting pissed off of it. No brains left. Gonna kill you with Tron, said later. By a brainless bastard in the building. It's going to taking it a bit too far now, because obviously, you know, this is never ending. This fucking Sadie Dando threat goes back almost 20 fucking years, and it's still occurring to this day. Dog barks, you're being beat up, and neighbour, someone in the building says, you're not moving because you're a sicko, Justin. Everything where your stuff is stored is missing, and get date details given as well in the threat. Much the same again with saying sick cunt, do away with everything, throw his fucking life apart, child rapist, everything's missing, double breaking, already had a missus said when I haven't, that's the next bit. Everything's gone, Justin shouldn't have turned against Gizmo Lisa. Tear the bastard child rapist apart, drive him to fucking suicide, said. Dangerous paedophile, being stabbed with an HIV needle, said. Sexual just, said after. And obviously they have to keep on pissing about with the loud bites and erections. I get a bit pissed off at this evening, I'll tell you that. Low whistles, Kimberly just. It's too late, you raped your daughter, said. I don't even have a daughter. I've not even had a girlfriend in my fucking whole life. Hospital just, said. Smashed out, said, and fists, said. Get a fucking rope, tie it to his fucking throat, drag him along on the road with my fucking bike, said by somebody, I don't know who said it. Sick cunt murdered Esme, everything missing, said. Right, today I phoned up Somerset County Council regarding Home Finder and placing bids to move from one place to another. Now obviously bronze is the lowest banding, then you have silver, then you have gold, and then you have emergency. Going back just over 10 years ago, it was done by banding, so the higher the banding, like gold and emergency, you'd have more priority than silver or bronze. Bronze is at the bottom. Well, I've had to speak to them today on the phone and ask them why people that are getting first position on gold banding are being rejected when there's nobody else, like on emergency banding, or very few, and if there is, they usually take these places off if someone on emergency requires it. Otherwise it's left for gold banders at the end of the cycle. So they basically said, because you're not working, or you're mentally disabled, or have a roof over your head looking to move into a place of your own, and also because you're not a single parent in her teens, or under the age of 25, or a family that needs a place to live, you don't get the priority everybody else does. So even though you are bidding on it and initially prioritised by that specific organisation or housing association, it doesn't mean that the outcomes is as great as you initially think. They told me that they're trying to put people that have the lower priorities into the more built up areas in big blocks of flats in the middle of town centres to save on stock space, rent costs and housing benefit that they have to reward certain people for moving to these places. and for people that are more acceptable for the higher places, or where they will allow more rent costs, go to those people that I just said, like the single mothers that are under the age of 25, the people that are working, and homeless duty that's accepted by Somerset County Council and that sort of thing. So that's how they work it, and that is why people on gold banding are being rejected on properties they bid on if they hit the first, second or third position. Thanks for listening. You're lying, I'm gonna fucking knife him, said. Burning starts and saying you're losing your life. That's it, no, you're fucking going, you child rapist. Life's lost, said. Several loud bites to erections. Sick cunt murdered, Esme said. He molested her in the toilet, Justin said. Slow cooking, said. Brains lost, Justin said. They've been pretty bad this evening. Taken out of the equation as threats are being said, because I've been getting crushing pains in head and burning, so I'm not sure what's causing that, but it's one of the evenings where it's just been going on for hours. So how was last night in total? Well, I can't understand why I kept on burning. There's a lot of cells I've got to mention, by the way. But I was burning extremely bad, especially right up till about, 10:30, and then it started again at 11 and half past. And it sort of just went on until I went to bed about 1 a.m. It just, the burning got even worse. So we've got that issue. And when I woke up today, there's roughly about 60 loud bikes trying to erection. Animal, dog barks, seagull sounds or whatever, coming at us to say you're having a break-in, being knifed, and claiming my girlfriend is Gemma. So God's made a mistake. I'll come to today's story shortly. So the dog also mentioned to say that I'm being beat up when I have a break-in, and there's also barked to say I'm being injected with HIV needle. Also, while shaving, voice sounds zen, with loud bites to erections to my penis going up as I shave. Let's get to today's problems, because I can't remember what it all is. Not being right, so bow whistles, penis up next loud bike, cell call my way, bow whistles, cell call again, motorbike time to erection, penis shoots up so itchy bell end, bum hole, so loud bike timed. On your bike van, the bike means mic van. Next itchy bum hole and tingly penis bell end, so 2 loud bikes. Drain covers hit over as I pass, all in the same colour, grey, white, black and blue, white, sick, blue, black, sick, or black, sick, white. So that's every single car on the road, and that's still occurring this minute in time. I haven't got this message mentioned yet. So crossing the bridge, when we get through all that shit, we firstly has an Abri van tying to an erection after another van saying, actually I can't say the name of the van, because I don't want to cause offence for family. But the next, there's a load of choking catalytic converter stench, Tristan van, green sexual, colliding cars on the bridge trying to smash me up, penis shoots up to the next bike 3 more times, 1 threat being mistaken as Saven, and that's it at the moment. And then obviously this road down there, there's been about 50-60 cars in black and blue sick white pattern. I've had to do this recording a couple of times because they keep putting people on my path. Alright.
Thank you.
Right, what I wanted to say is, going back a few minutes ago, when I passed the person that was on the road, and speaking into the camera what I was saying, he basically said this, he said, "Gobby cunt, did you hear what he just said? Mistaken as Saven." So he said that, and then he said, He is severe, that bastard. He's getting smashed in. After that, there's loads of sick grey, white cars, black and blue cars, and then whatever else. And it's the only time it's actually gone quiet is now. And there's been dribbling bow whistles as well. They did this yesterday on the road when I was coming back on the bus. They managed to get that controlled setup, or a coincidence of these vehicles coming out in the same way, but the amount of vehicles that have just come out in that pattern has pissed me off. So, right, one of the vehicle names was basically the name of a place that I bidded on, or to the suggestion of that, which is near my dad's in fact. So we had a Swiss van, the tables are turned van, and night attack van, flooring van, no, western flooring, sorry, and a picture of smashed brains in, and there's some kind of circular table looking vehicle that looks like it's broken, which is a repair restoration van, then a sick white car, red, black, red, black, red, and I think that's it. It looks like they're packing the traffic. Basically what's happened is there's been a setup where firstly it's a grey sexual car. Obviously when I hit a catalytic converter hot point there will be cars because of how busy that road is, although it has just suddenly gone quiet. I've noticed that as soon as I push record on it suddenly goes quiet, which is helpful, but it's not evidential, because in most cases I always look for the quieter places to actually do the talking, because but anyway, we had the grey sexual car, then it was a setup to say that they're welding me to someone that sexually abused me as a child, and that once you're welded to that person it can't be undone. So basically it was making it clear that you're with that person that raped you as a child, or people that raped you as a child, and that it's too late to do anything, and that you're an old sick bastard that's not fancying an old granny to have her first time ever relationship to have sex with, who is 3 times the age of people that sexually abused me as a child, basically. So that's how they want to work it with the setup. Soon as I stop the camera, the setup, oh, fuck's sake, setup's increased. Right, I've forgotten the name of what I needed to say, thanks to the fucking forces around me corrupting my fucking mind. I've not even written it down. So basically what the setup was, is it at the catalytic converter hot point, was basically mostly cars, but there were van names as well. So there's about 10 vehicles in total. I have known it to be worse than that. Basically what it said is basically to tell me that Jehovah, the creator, God, Yahweh or Allah, whatever you want to call God, the creator, wants you with someone that's sexually abused you as a child, or sexually abused me as a child. So basically the creator's telling me that he wanted me with that person, and because I violated God of not wanting to go with that person who sexually abused me as a child, the creator God's telling me that he's ripping me to pieces, and that I should be welded to that person with the setups shortly before that. So that's the best way I can put it. It's not good, but that's you know, I can't help the way it comes out. And obviously I don't know if a crow made a noise, but they'll be recorded on air. There's a YouTuber called Revelation11 and the 2 dots and 11 after that, and she shares rapture dreams on the internet, where there was a lookalike to her walking in my direction, which is not exactly the most prettiest types of people. And also I think you can safely say this is what I think Lisa Pike looks like today. I haven't seen what she looks like, but I saw one of the later photos going back on Facebook several years ago where she seems to look like that. She actually looks older than my old man, but yeah, she's not a very good looking person, this Lisa. So that's basically what's gone in my direction. There's a rave track or jungle track, Goldie, and Robin Goldie released back in 1991, I think it is, or 1992. I know it's a very old, early jungle rave track, and it's called the Shadow Process Mix. There's a hint in that track that it sounds like Christ has turned, and it also says the Lord is shit, in that sort of way. So has God turned? Because if you look at all the things that I've had to put up with, and the fact that God stopped me getting sex all my life, and telling me that he wants me with people that raped me as a child, while nailing me as a sick bastard and almost getting me killed or jeopardising my life with thousands of people photographing me, mistaking me as Savannah as a rapist, threatening to knife me down, smash me in, beat me up, take my life away or shoot me dead. You know, it does raise suspicion, doesn't it? And then obviously you've got to think of all the break-in threats and to inject me with HIV. I mean, that's even being said in the building where I live. And I'm being threatened to be fucking injected because of child rape when I've never had sex with a child. But there's nothing I can do about it. I'm outnumbered. But, so there we are, that's the creator God for you. So, just raising the possibility that they're trying to tell me, or hint the suggestion that Christ has turned, and that they might have taken a prognosis, which means they've taken a profile, or have knowing advanced technology, where they know what everyone's doing, and have found out, even before I was born, that Christ has turned against me, so they released information like that. Because if we go back to the year I was born, they were releasing the Stranglers, Golden Brown, and saying every life just like the last, tied to the mosque, which is basically saying, in a plural suggestion, that you're not going to have anything when you're born, and your life is going to be hectic in hell. With other tracks as well, you know, these might not be suggestive, but there are some good tracks in the 80s, like Ultravox Vienna, Soft Cell, Tainted Love, the Specials, Ghost Town, the Jam, Going Underground, I think that's 1981. What else did you have in the year I was born? Blondie, Tide is High, I think that was, and also Burnham-on-Sea, flooded in 1981, so that was convenient. Although I wasn't living at Burnham-on-Sea, I was in Bridgewater. It is interesting, but you know, there's many good tracks. Culture Club, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? Godly and Cream, Under Your Thumb. In actual fact, 81 was a really good year for music. It's sort of deep music, same sort of sound effects that you get in the 1994 jungle tracks that were deep. Not the commercial ragamuffin type, but apart from Undercover Agent Rougher Part 3 on Splash Recordings, I think pretty much all the ragga tracks are pretty much just shallow chart type jungle tracks. Then again, saying what I just said about the music tracks, it's something else that's interesting. When I was watching Large Hadron Collider CERN and about Higgs boson and particles that could wipe out the entire universe, there have been setups, not so much in recent times, it's all before the lockdown when this occurred, and possibly before I moved to Burnham-on-Sea, but they were suggesting that, to me, with setups, that God's turned, but they didn't give a fuck that God's turned. They just said you probably won't get anybody, and that you're going to have to go with an old hag or something like that with the setups. But in that time, the setups weren't as aggressive. There were aggressive times, and it's nasty as today sometimes, but overall, when that was suggested, it's more sort of to say that God has turned against you, and that you're going to the fire of hell after death, and that we know that you're going to the fire of hell, and to apply that, you know, everything's turned against you. You've got everything, the creation of God's work against you, and that when you die, that's the end, and that I'm going to live and see the last, basically. And then obviously once they done that, they made the suggestion of CERN, Large Hadron Collider, so they could be using that to wipe out God's existence of everything in the universe. It's just a possibility. I mean, it was suggested through setups quite a number of times, going back in the 2013 area, or 2014 area. But obviously these setups dropped when I moved to Burnham-on-Sea. But it's still nasty, it's still malicious. And it started to get nastier, actually, like today's setups, when I moved to Burnham-on-Sea. But it was bad back in 2011. But it's had its times. It's never been nice, these setups. And the initial time I sort of noticed the setups was in 2005. So I was a little upset, actually. I was sort of walking back from a walk, having some special brew, very shortly when I moved to Bridgewater. And when I changed my time to 11:30 PM to drink. And sort of kind of tearful in some ways, because the setups, I thought to myself, and that's back then, nearly 20 years ago, thinking to myself, am I ever going to get anyone or what? You know, not had sex all my life, and thinking about being sexually abused as a child, and the fact that God's not let me have anything. And even back then, 20 years ago, seagulls going, ha ha, you've got nothing, there's nothing to come. But clairvoyance predicted girlfriends, and they've all fallen through as well. So, but you know, I've already mentioned the past, but the main subject I wanted to mention is the bit about the the wiping out of the universe using CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, for this section and this recording. On the tree here, it says, "Beware Eastville Rapist." Now, I first noticed that when I went through Nine Springs for a walk, as I lost my temper in 2022, it was June. Because the neighbour was getting nasty, the neighbour was getting threatening to smash me and inject me with HIV, or to inject me in the heart and take my fucking life, getting nasty to break in and to shoot me, and that person had rougher friends around at that time. It wasn't until roughly when Peter, neighbour, moved in that things started to dramatically calm down. However, we still had our days, times, and especially the new year of 2023 was quite bad, and that was the beginning of the banging in sequence of threats, which goes on all the time. But anyway, going back to this "Beware Eastville Rapist" graffiti, it was wearing away when I first initially saw it, so that must have been there before I actually moved to Yeovil, because with spray paint it takes time to wear off, especially if it's on a tree or something like that. So if I was to guess the time period it was written, I'd say it'd be around the time of, if I was to guess, probably 2020, 2019 area maybe. And then obviously, because it looked like it was a couple of years on there when I first saw it, and I'd already been at Thorn House one year when I saw it, and it was definitely looked like it was more faded than 1 year, so probably around about the lockdown period, that sort of time period. So, you know, it's worth mentioning. I thought I'd make a note of it so you can have some details on it. Right, I had to put the camera down because there's some people that were coming from behind and I was getting a bit confused what to say. But the good news is I did manage to complete what I wanted to say. Now, as far as the weather goes for the 23rd of the 4th, 2024, it's mixed at the moment. So it's been blue skies and sunshine initially. It was blue skies and sunshine when I was going out at times. At the moment there's a sort of rain cloud that's coming over, making the whole area look like it's grey. But behind it, if you go and looking towards the direction of wherever that is, I guess it's towards Sherborne, Yeovil direction, that's coming in this direction. So in about half an hour, if that, the likelihood is going to be blue skies with sunshine for most of the day, because it looks like it's all clear from behind there. Crows just said, "Go in hell, just you ray, rah." Bird said, "Paedophile, lost your life." Crow says, "You raped her." There is something else I'll mention. My drinking's increased. It's got quite bad at the moment. It's at least 3 beers per night. So obviously and logically, it's still not a massive amount, but it's climbing to, you know, quite a lot. You know, it's still under the 3 special brews and 9% or 8% that I used to have, but it's still a bad amount of drink. So just want to let you know, I'm not quite sure why I'm doing it. I think it's because I'm suffering from burn pains and all the rest of it is causing me to increase the amount of drink. But that's been very bad. It started on Thursday evening, but Friday, Saturday and Sunday were extremely bad. It happened for the whole day on Sunday, I think it is, and obviously last night was bad as well. Monday was bad, but like I said, I don't know what's causing it. Life lost, Justin said. I just had a quick conversation with someone that I know from the church, so I was sort of talking about, you know, this and that, music and whatever, and the sort of things I've been into, like, you know, Ouija boards and stuff like that. And basically she has said that when it comes to stuff like Ouija boards, you need to burn it. And I'm thinking to myself, if you think of the Bible, it's against me. It says masturbating's a sin before marriage, and that you're supposed to be with your girlfriend at your youth. You're not supposed to go with a single mother. I do agree with that. It moans about sexuality, of homosexuality in Leviticus in the Bible, but which I'm a bit annoyed about. So obviously, because you think of all the females that moan about your age and tell you you're a sick cunt, you might have to go with a transgender person. There's a possibility. I'm not going to get nothing. It's too late. Nothing at all is pretty much put a knife in you. The Bible's actually, when you consider Jesus Christ on the piece of information that's been banned from the Holy Bible, Jesus Christ has a sex partner and fucking making his fucking road busy again. So, you know, that's that. Right, anyway, I can get my say because the traffic's very hectic on this road. It's not usually a road where there's hardly any vehicles. So yeah, she said anything like crystals, Ouija boards, tarot cards, you know, new age stuff. She said that all needs to be burnt or chucked away. So I mentioned old school jungle music, which is my favourite music. And I said I lost it over time, and she said that's a good thing. Oh, bloody hell. Because she says it's, this sort of electronic on music is devil's music, basically. And she said if I saw it, I'd just chuck it in the bin. Said I'd do it for the sake of Jesus Christ. So then I mentioned I'm into this dark ambient as an alternative. And she said that's bad. It's a dark music, and said all dark music is bad. So I thought, okay, go on, give it some. You know, it's only her belief, her religion. So I mentioned a couple of other things. They were interesting. I said I like taking pictures of mystical effects, you know, and that's what I'm doing today. While waiting for the support worker to speak to her, and she said, well, mystical is not a good way to take pictures. She said, because that's satanic. She said, if you're trying to do pictures in a mystical way, you're actually doing it in a satanic way. So I thought, all right, we'll take the whole my life away, you know. Why not just do away with everything? So I didn't say that to her because I was polite, but you know. And I thought to myself, look at all the things that are already against me in the Bible. You know, like sexuality, stopping me getting anyone, the way I'm being violated, the way I'm having the piss taken at me. There's hundreds of incidents in the Bible. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I remember what the other thing is now. I mentioned Victorian objects, or like taking pictures of the eerie shaped objects of like and that, again, she said that's satanic. She said you should be looking at positive things and heading towards Christ. Well, if I was to go with what the Bible says, or the Holy Bible, that's all my interests out. Anything from music to everything else. And like I said, they're making this road packed. This road, there's usually, one car maximum. But there's nothing I can do about it. And there's an overhanging trailer. It was lucky I'd gone in there, because that would have been ripping my fucking legs off. From that one fucking van, I've had to be choked completely with a catalytic converter up my nostrils, causing a sore throat, smelling like fucking bleach mixed with vinegar, and rubbing 2 stainless steel knives against garden cress and smelling it, except over 100 times fucking stronger, right up my fucking nose. I'm not very fucking happy about it. Right, they want to tell me what a catalytic converter is. I'm going to the bin, so I'm being choked by a catalytic converter. They set up the traffic going to a catalytic converter, ram it up my fucking nose, okay? Because it suggests sex with an old granny or Lisa Pike, okay? Or someone that raped me as a child. That's all they're setting it up for. That fucking reason. Right, this isn't a religious recording because I need to mention something that's quite serious, actually. I just spoken to someone about 10-15 minutes ago of who I know at the church. This is quite an old lady. Right, first of all, let's just mention there's hundreds of Bible verses that go against me in a sneaky way, in a sly way. And I've done many prayers, gone to church for up to 3 years, and my life just got worse and worse. We've up to 160 threats in one day, and over 200 people photographing me on one day, especially in the year of 2022. And I was being sneezed at anything from 40 to 200 times per day in that 1 year. Anyway, it's the worst this year on record for being sneezed at, worst this year for direct threats and people photographing me. And there's quite a lot of setups and loud bikes tying to erections as well, although 2023 was a lot worse, with a record-breaking year of 6 weeks, apart from 4 days in those 6 weeks where there was at least 400 per day on those 4 days. Then there was over 1,000 bikes per day tying to getting an erection, so loud bikes. But also they were increasing lookalikes to people that sexually abused me as a child, tying to an erection at that time. And when that occurred, most times it was occurring, crows and birds and animals' voice sounds were coming out as well. But I want to mention something else, because that animal voice sound problem has been increasing since December 2022, the worst it's been since before 2012. So that's another problem, and that can be up to 100 to over 1,000 voice sounds per day, especially when the dog's barking. And that can be anything from telling me to fuck people that raped me as a child, to telling me I'm going to burn in the fire of hell, to tell me there's nothing left and that you lost your life. It all satanic, all nasty, just like threats that I get. and most of the threats I get is anything like to shoot you dead, or break your arms and legs off, to smash you in, to knife you dead, to, to inject you with a HIV needle, or to take your life away, or claiming I'm a child rapist, or raped girls, or whatever, or beat women apart, stuff like that, anything like that. It's just the same with the animal voice sounds, and the threats are the same. Nasty, shouted, aggressively, and I've been taken chase with a knife. I've had a bottle smashed across my head before, and I've had many different things like that which I've had to put up with through my time. But let's get to what the Bible says, shall we? Well, the Bible basically says, in one of the lost Gospels, which is not actually a lost Gospel, it's something they couldn't add to the Holy Bible. And it mentions that Jesus Christ had a sexual relationship with Mary Magdalene. So Mary Magdalene was 11, and I think Jesus Christ was 23, I'm not sure. The information's very vague because they can't give that information to the public, and they're only keeping that one manuscript open for the public while covering up the other piece of information, as they're not allowed to show the public on commercial media due to the information content of paedophilia. Well, the Bible mentions in Leviticus that you can only go with someone that's straight and not transgender or homosexual or lesbian. But the problem we have here is many ladies are moaning about my age or telling me I'm a sick cunt if I don't look at anyone over the age of 38 because of my age being 43. And some of them are more tighter with that. In January of this year, 2024, I had the very first closest age gap complaint ever of being 40. And anything under 40, you're known as a sick bastard. So I'm thinking to myself, well, the people that raped me as a child are 20 years younger than this at the time it happened. And you're also thinking to yourself, well, how are you going to get anyone if everybody are moaning about the age gap? And why are they telling you to go with the zombie type? And what I mean is, like this Lisa Pike I mentioned, or lookalikes to this person, they keep on telling me that I should be going with the unhygienic looking type, or the goofy looking type that look like they have tomato ketchup in their mouth ready to sneeze it out at you, and looking at you in a ridiculous way, as if they are unhygienic and dirty, where their body looks like they're covered in warts or shingles or chickenpox. And if you don't go with that sort of attraction, you're known as a sick bastard. But you're also known as a sick bastard if you have sex over the age of 40, whether it's someone you have sex with is younger, or whether it's someone you have sex with that is older. Regardless of what it is, any sex at all, once you reach the age of 40 or older, you're being told you're a sick cunt, which is not a good sign when you've never had anyone in your whole life. And also, I'm being told that because you're a sick cunt, we need to cause you to have negative attraction so that you don't make babies. So in other words, it's saying so you can't have sex, and this goes back 10 years ago as well. So we have that when I've not had anyone in my whole life apart from being sexually abused as a child. And take into account all the threats I'm getting, all the photographs that are being taken of me, because I'm getting up to 40 to 200 people photograph me per day, and mostly mistaking me as Sven and giving me trouble under my real name Justin, and sometimes Liam, is causing many problems to backfire at me with trouble every single time I go out. There's threats every single day. There's not a single day where I can go out without a threat, and I'm always mistaken as Sven every day. That's been every single day for the last 2 years at least. So we got that problem, and then obviously we've got other verses in the Bible that say rejoice, or whatever it is, at your youth you leave your family and you go with your teenage girlfriend or boyfriend. Well, it's a little bit too late for that. I've been stopped from getting anyone all my life, and I've been known as a rapist all my life, and I've had and also God's taken the mickey out of me with animal voice sound, saying that I'm a sick cunt, or whatever else, or being knife dead, or whatever I said, and what I said like just now. So we got that. We got the I'm not into sunny weather, but I'm cursed with sun in a certain way of a specific painting which suggests of a sexual lady who's only in her early 20s and poses with a soft body and smooth face from a specific painting where she's holding the sun out of her hand onto this young man who looks like a boy walking with a notepad in a woodland along a track while it's cloudy or rainy or drizzly everywhere else, but this boy's being cursed with the sun. Now, like I say, I'm being violated because I'm getting this problem every day. So on a cloudy day, every time I go out, and it's happened for the last 2 years, basically every day, it's been sunny where I've been and cloudy everywhere else or around me in that certain way. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you're going to violate me with the sun, well, where's the sex to go with the curse? And it's not there. So what they've done is they deliberately took that painting off the shelves that was selling on postcards in shops, and they took the picture right off the internet so I can't find it to get the evidence. So that's very sly, isn't it? But anyway, let's go back to my general life. There's never been any good news. Any girlfriends that have been possibilities have turned against me, or enemies have turned them against me. They've even paid people to turn against me, or the rich have taken it, or people have won the lottery, which has caused people to move from where I used to live to other places when I was sort of just reaching adult age, you know. They caused many things. Clairvoyant readings that have come to past, they've all failed. As you say, there's a negative build-up, and as soon as that girlfriend comes into your life's going to get better. The girlfriend doesn't come into your life continues, and it gets worse, and it just drops nastily. So there's nothing you can do about that. So you've got that problem, and then after that, you've got all these road closures, bus services being taken off, or fuel explosions on the M5, like in 2011, when a clairvoyant predicted a girlfriend at North Petherton Carnival, which never existed, and this girlfriend was supposed to be Chloe, and she was supposed to be aged 18, and supposed to be rewarded to me by God, which never occurred because there was a fuel explosion. And then obviously on dating sites I've been violated, been threatened to be smashed in, or get my ex-boyfriend to smash you in, to saying that you're a sick cunt and supposed to fancy older attraction, or not to have people that are hot looking, and just going on like that. Then we got more problems because you've had the road closures. They've decided to close the shop, or the shop has been closed on that day where he's going to meet up or whatever. And many other different things like that, just going on and on and on. But it gets even better, because I've spent over £9,000 on dating sites and dating agencies to receive absolutely nothing. But on top of that, energy weapons are being used at my old place, which has caused me to lose all my old school jungle music, which is my favourite type of music. And now we've got all my dark ambient, which are £1,400 of dark ambient that's gone as well, due to energy weapons or something in the air that's destroyed all the discs between December of 2023 to when I stayed at my dad's in February 2024, when I tried them on 3 different disc players, yet other discs were playing. So I had to chuck out £1,400 of dark ambient discs that I bought as an alternative music, because I lost all my music at my old place. But before I moved, I had this in a garage, a storage place. But there's many things that have happened since I've been at Thorn House. I mean, I've had £1,000, a £500 and a £200 money pack go missing. Helen, one of the staff workers, knew it was going to be a really hot day, and I accidentally left my vinyl all on the radiators, and she accidentally turned the heating on instead of turning it off, and she turned it the wrong way. So she apologised. I wasn't happy about it because she cost me a lot of money. In today's value, that vinyl, I mean, you're looking at about £3,000 or £4,000. When I bought it, it was under £1,000. But you know, she didn't realise, so I couldn't do nothing about it, because she wasn't doing it on purpose, you see. And there's been many different things, you know, other things as well, which I could go on. So, and I've had to put up with years and years and years, 3 years of threats and banging in sequence of threats up to 1,000 times a night, especially in the beginning of 2023, and to be threatened to be injected with HIV, to be smashed in, to be burgled, to have my life taken, to be told that I'm being raped as a child when I'm reborn in my next life. And if we go back to a clairvoyant reading going back to no, I can't remember the year now. It's 15 years ago, roughly. I had a past life reading, and I was told that in my next life, my past life, I was sexually abused and never had anyone when I reached an adult, when I was a female, when I was a young lady, and I died before the age of 25, but I can't remember what age she said, because the reading's a long time ago. But anyway, let's get to the good news, shall we? Because I want to tell you exactly what this Christian lady told me that I saw roughly half an hour ago now. Well, firstly, I mentioned that I was into this old school jungle stuff before these issues occurred, and she says it's demonic music. She says she knows what it is, and she says you don't want to listen to that electronica stuff because it's part of the devil and just goes against Jesus Christ, and you'll be judged if you were a Christian if you listen to that sort of music. So I went on to dark ambient, and she said the same with that. She said dark ambient is a dark category. Anything dark is satanic. So then I said I'm into new age and mystical things like Ouija boards, tarot cards, and you know, this sort of thing like that. So she said that's if you read Timothy in the Bible, and another chapter, I can't remember what it is, it said God is against that as well. So we moved on to my photography, and I said I like taking pictures of creepy Victorian objects and old buildings, or Edwardian things, or dull days instead of sunny days. And she said that mystical taking pictures, or should I say taking pictures in a mystical way, or in a way where it looks like that, again, she said that's satanic. So I thought to myself, well, if that's all against me, and sexuality's against me, and my life's against me, then obviously that's the wrong religion for me, isn't it? Christianity. And obviously, when you take into account that you've had experiences of being in woodlands and almost falling through paranormal experiences where it feels like the floor's going under, or you're getting tapping under your feet, I found that very interesting, which started to occur in 2019 but never before in my life. And there was experiences where it felt like you were going down into a tunnel which wanted to take you into a place which you could sense, if you were to think in your head what it would suggest, a place of like Victorian dangerous electrical working instruments that do dangerous things to you that you don't get on Earth, and are more creepy and more dark looking with more different types of powers and stuff like that. So it gave the impression of that, and this was happening constantly. So that was one thing that's occurred. When I was walking down a track back in January, and it's happened a couple of times, not just once, you get a sudden feeling of something stopping you go any further, like a dimensional, or like a wall stopping you go anywhere, but it's invisible. So we've had that. So in January, there was 2 little girls aged about 9 to 11 that came off of a field, and they were about 15 to 20 foot in front of me, and they were having a good time laughing, ready to go onto the track in front of me to walk to wherever they were going, because it was only those 2 people on the track on that day, because it was a quiet, gloomy, sort of cloudy day. Anyway, this invisible force stopped me going anywhere, and it came out of nowhere, and I thought, well, what's causing this? And it's very similar to like if you're on a bungee ride, you know, that round ball, when you go on a bungee, you go in the air and you've got that gravity feeling where it pushes you down or it pushes you up, and you reach it's like that sort of feeling. So you walk and it's pushing you back, so like 2 magnets going against each other. You can't walk, but it's not physically touching you when you're walking past. It's just a feeling where it's stopping you go anywhere, where you put your foot through, but there's like a force or magnetical force that's going against your leg, pushing it back. And that lasted for a couple of minutes until those girls eventually went. And then obviously a similar occurrence happened more recently. But so that's another thing that's occurred. So, and then obviously when it comes to my music, you know, I mentioned losing all my music. I find out that all my music is restricted, a whole lot of it, including dark ambient and the old school jungle stuff. But the problem is they're telling you to listen to happy, jolly, good life sexual music or religious music, like Christianity music. But some people's minds don't take to happy, good life, jolly music. So that's against me. So, you know, the Bible's basically got hundreds of verses in there that are against me. I've got a whole load of these verses that I've put on my own Bible verse, kind of what I've made over the last couple of years. So the Draw Bible says that time will no longer be here, or whatever, because God's against time. And my nickname is Just in Time, because I'm Justin Langford. I've had a nickname when I was a kid of Just in Time, and even several years ago Clairvoyant also nicknames me Just in Time. So, and I like the name, but God's against me in that as well. So no matter what it is, Christianity is against me big time. And when I spoke to these young ladies who have had rapture dreams, one, when they're 18 they're single mothers. 2, if I ask them if they're single, if there's anyone single, they tell you you're a sick cunt, and that's a Christian. And then you've got many other different problems as well. But anyway, I'm going to have to end the video here, because obviously there's people about. But there is a lot more I could cover if I wanted, but I'm going to leave it there because obviously there's people about and I'm very low on battery on the camera. But you get my drift, don't you? So if you've got any comments, please let me know. Thanks for listening. I said the ending was going to be now, but there's just one little thing that I forgot to mention, and that is in the Bible it says you mustn't use your instrument as a use of wickedness, but a use of righteousness. And there are other Bible verses as well. I can't remember what the actual chapter is or the verse, but basically what it says is if you masturbate is a sin against God, and that you need to be married first and you need a partner before you do that. But what about these people that have never had sex in their whole life and been sexually abused as a child, and also being nailed as a sick cunt all their life, and they're told they're not allowed to masturbate or they go to the fire of hell? And the other thing is, I've been getting dreams or experiences of hellfire. So it just shows that God's fallen. When it comes to liking old lighting or street lighting, because it's electricity, God is against the modern use of electricity, and it's being nailed as satanic by certain people in certain religions who are Christians. Anyway, I forgot to mention these little bits, but you know, there's been a lot of people in my direction, so this is why I've had to add this onto the end of the video. But they were important bits that I remembered. But everything else, like I said, there's a lot to go through. I'm just going to have to leave it there. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Crowsang says this: go into hell, just in that croaky sort of way. There is one. there is one other thing that I wanted to mention. This recording, I keep saying it's ending, but it's not. I'm going to have to make a note of that. Well, basically, when animals have made sounds, they're telling me that I've been going to be going to the fire of hell because I wouldn't be in a sexual relationship with someone who sexually abused me as a child and remained in that relationship, and it's causing God, the creator God, to get nasty about it and using torture and fire and hell against me, telling me that I'm going to burn in my afterlife because of this. Thank you for listening. This really is the end of the video now. Have a great day. Jungle Joss lost his life, said by a bearded fucking roughneck bastard that wants to get ready to get a knife out and to smash it in your face and to beat your fucking face apart and stamp on your fucking face and inject you with a HIV needle. Unfortunately, this type in my direction again, yep. Pour petrol over you and set your light, said after I put the camera down. By the same person, same accent, no rougher. You must have heard what I said. Being shot dead, said it directly after that. Got it. I've been wasting battery power trying to get threats for the last 10 minutes, and each and every one, I'm like with the animal record, as soon as you push record, it suddenly stops and then it starts when you push stop. But I managed to get that one. Shoot dead. Yep, said. But I keep failing with the evidence. Get rid of that sick bloke. I won't tell the support worker this that I'm meeting today, but I've actually been moaned at because people are asking what I'm doing, lingering about. Well, one reason I was going to sit on the bench, but someone needed to use the gravestone exactly where the bench is, so they've only just left, so I told this bloke what I'm doing, and didn't go down well, but he was okay with it, if you get what I'm saying, but not satisfied, but couldn't say nothing because obviously this is what I told him, and what I told him is true. It's just that the support worker's a little bit late, so it's probably a busy road or whatever. Usually does get busier on a cloudy day these days than it does on a sunny day because more people are getting out in the cloudier weather. Exactly the same as yesterday, the government are putting obstacles and traffic in my way to stop me getting pictures of anything or timing people out. They've done this at every single street light this year. They've done this at every single street light last year. They've caused this at every single photograph that I've tried taking this year, and they've done it at every single photograph I tried taking last year. And they've either been timing children around by old streetlights or old buildings or road pictures or whatever. Every single picture, every single day, every single time. If the sun hasn't come out to destroy it, alternatively, every single picture. Like yesterday, all attempts, all photos I tried taking have had to be deleted because they haven't come out. Because obviously the government are forcing, controlling everyone's movement around me, or the creator God's being a vicious, sneaky little bastard to stop every single photo. And when I say every single photo, I mean every single photo has been targeted that I've taken this year. Every photo, every single photo of last year. Actually, 99% of photos the year before that, in fact. There's been every photo I take, actually, apart from the ones in museums, where even people walk past while taking pictures there. There's been obstacles, setups, or control force around me to stop me getting a single picture. But they don't do it when the sun's up. They only do it when it's cloudy, or in buildings like museums, or if you're taking pictures of things that are very old. Right, the government told me they're fucking fed up with it. They're fucking fed up to a point where they need to smash me in with a fucking knife, take your fucking eye out. Yeah, the government are going fucking satanic. They're fucking aliens. Government are up to their vicious, sneaky fucking tricks again. There's no plan of what I'm doing today because I had to see the support worker to talk about trying to move from my place. All the bandings and bidding that I've been on are not actually in a high position. Although I'm on gold banding, I'm actually lower, possibly the lowest out of all the neighbours in my block, or around the same on a couple of them, because I've only started bidding recently. But anyway, I just want to let you know sun's out. It got cloudy for a little bit, and I decided to rearrange my day. Well, I got to where I wanted. The government have forced me to stop getting photos by putting people on my path, timing people out of farm gates, timing children. This is every single photo they've done this at, except for Sturminster Newton Museum. When I was camping at Portland, a woodland picture. Otherwise, although I might have got some pictures through time in the last 3 years, they have actually tried defeating every single picture I've tried taking, apart from those ones I just mentioned. It might just be for a few seconds where someone passes, but they have caused people to be out or to try fucking up every single picture apart from those 3 I mentioned in the last 3 years. Out of hundreds that I've tried taking, and they have succeeded on nearly all of them. That even includes the Cernabis building, inside the building, with someone coming in while taking a picture. That also includes the little waterway that I took earlier. That includes the road photos of the fields I've taken, but there is mostly timing a modern tractor in the field as I take the picture, meaning that I've struggled there, and they've done other things. Every light picture, every lantern, build up the traffic or cause the sun to come out as an alternative. Where I'm actually going today is actually where I saw 2 people having sex, which I wasn't very happy about when we go back roughly this month 2 years ago. So I did a walk down here, and basically what happened was there's this girl aged about 10, 12. They do look older. She could be older than that. When I look at them, they just look like they're children today, because I'm always known as sick bastard by these people anyway. But if I was to guess her age, I'd say she looks somewhere between 10 and 12, but she could be 13 or 14, maybe 15. Where basically what happened was, when I came here 2 years ago, roughly this month, it might have been May actually, I can't remember. Well, basically they were down by the water's edge, be under the tunnel. When I went to go down there and they were having sex. The person that was having sex with her was aged about 35. But obviously, you know, when I got there it didn't go down too well, so I had to leave. I've already documented this. This was already on one of my old YouTube channels from that time. So basically, yeah, he threatened to smash me out. He said, "What are you fucking doing washing me? You fucking..." And I didn't really say nothing. I just ignored him and walked on. I couldn't photograph the evidence because I was in the situation, but what I did is I did a video like now. It's one of the earliest videos I did, in fact, because I wasn't really filming much in this sort of way, but obviously that's what happened then. There we are, back on it, FedEx. The one that pissed me off the most, well actually is in recent times. I mean, we could go back to something like 2008, where I saw a bloke aged about 50 having sex with an 11-year-old, where the 11-year-old went throwing sticks at me, shouting at me and throwing stones or whatever, when this when it was, it gets worse. But back in those days, paedophilia wasn't seen as such a thing as what it is now, and obviously more people were doing it. But unfortunately in my direction, when I've never had anyone in my whole life, so it's pissed me right off. But anyway, we'll come to the more recent ones. The one in particular, although that person was in his 30s and having sex with someone who only looks like she's 12 or whatever, the one that pissed me off in particular was a smaller age gap. And that was last year, September I think it was, and this was at Barrack. So what happened was, in the cornfield, I was walking past and this bloke called me a sicko, he threatened to smash me in. So basically what happened is, this bloke in his mid-20s, early 20s, I can't remember what age he was basically having sex with a girl aged about 9. A blonde, small girl. And when I saw him, he basically, not at that specific time, but when I passed him on a previous time, he basically said he'd smash me out. He said I'm a fucking sicko. Yeah, he was fucking doing that. Because I went to film it and I couldn't because the situation was too dangerous. And obviously you'd be photographing, you'd get yourself in trouble for photographing because it's not the right thing to do. And they brought the fucking sun out when I got here to take a picture of what I'm going to take a picture of. Bow whistles. I got to put up with the crows saying they're being beat up and being stabbed with HIV. Well, I can tell you now, if anyone just sticks a HIV needle in me, I'll be waiting outside that person's flat to fucking smash that person in with a fucking knife and take that person's life fucking violently if it gets out of hand. Because life for life, you see. A needle's a sly way and a coward's way of committing murder on someone to commit sexual murder. Blue murder. It's murder for murder, you know. Someone commits murder, they gotta accept to pay the price with a fucking serious knife attack or fucking violence. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to let it go if I get injected. It's as simple as that. I'm not a violent person, but if people get to the point where they try and where they're brainless and can't think straight to fucking control themselves, then obviously I'm going to get nasty. So Crow better stop fucking mouthing off of that, otherwise it'd be weed killer on bread for seagulls to make God fucking understand that he doesn't get away with fucking torturing me, fucking lying on sexuality, taking a piss out of me all my life. We had this problem up where I used to live, where I was being told that I'm being injected with HIV, and I got a bit argumental on one occasion. So I said outside the window that this is sexuality and I've not had anyone all my life, and if I get injected with that, I would cause more pain than that, or something like that. I didn't say it in a sort of violent way as such. I made it clear that I wasn't happy, and I said I'd get it through your fucking thick head, because I'm not happy about it. Straight after that, they started using energy weapons, causing eye problems, as a coward's way, because they couldn't face me and do it that way. They thought, oh, well, if we're not going to fucking inject you, we're going to get nasty and we're going to fucking radiate you to fucking death. So they started that. And then obviously it did come into violence. At the time it came into violence, I was carrying some rubbish to the rubbish to the bin. This person got his knife out at me. So I had a syringe filled with weed killer that I was chucking out because the police ordered me to chuck it out. And I told him I fucking inject him with that, and I said, you want to fucking play murder? I'll fucking play murder. And this was not a neighbour, this was just someone walking past. It was someone with a pit bull terrier dog, angry person, bearded type person, and he's also someone that's, he was about 35, and he had like a blonde, sexual, smooth-skinned girlfriend who was about 10 years younger, maybe just a bit more younger than that, and he was a fucking nasty piece of shit, and they had children as well. Where I'm being completely gassed out with a catalytic converter, as I mentioned earlier, was eating a Schlett raw, where I nearly put it down the back of my throat, down the breathing arteries, and it slipped back. It was a bit it slipped into the back of my mouth, down my throat nearly. But as a catalytic converter, nearly cost me my life. In fact, it got caught in my throat. Little bastards. Loads of Bradford lorries. They want to keep on digging and making a Sadie Dando suggestion. Fist held up at me in a car, so obviously you've got to be prepared to commit manslaughter, because when a fist is thrown at you, fights are different today. I've told you that many times. Most fights you end up being in a fight. Knives end up being smashed in each other's faces, in their hearts, in their body. Then if you're still alive and then you're injected with HIV, if you're a coward, they use HIV. If you're a headstrong man, you use something like weed killer or substance like bleach that kills you instantly. Crow says you molested, and I can't say the name. Going back to Easter, I mentioned some people, some rubbish being checked out, which included a load of old school jungle vinyl. Well, I've just passed that house. What happened at that time, there's nobody's there, nobody said nothing, I just remind you basically. There's someone started an argument because I went to have a look at the records and offered 20 quid for the records, and he just said that on the news and the radio they're saying that this old school jungle stuff is satanic and dangerous, and that's why he's chucking it out basically, which is when he could sell them, but he thinks that he has a different opinion, and he got nasty with me as a bearded type person. I don't believe he listens to that music anymore because he was playing hip hop in his car, He's quite an oldish chap, he's a bit older than me, but and now we got bikes to erections. Grey sexual car and learner car, and it seems that the traffic inflow is picking up. Right, a vehicle that suggests trying the car to describe, but it looks like it's wires that have been put out your body basically in a painful looking way. Then you had a black car mixed with red colouring all over it and giving it like a Killer Bee look, or Venom sort of suggestion, I don't know. You had a catalytic converter set up. We had a Tesco van, because obviously as you can see it's sunny. Like I said, I don't know the full weather forecast for today, so I'm assuming it's cloudy, but it's sunny where I am. That's all I can say at the moment. But all in all, this minute in time, because there has been a bit of cloud, in total the whole day's been sunny, but there has been about 30 to 40 minutes of cloud. A tractor with a 6 scoop with orangey yellow liquid in it. Just sometimes where the government succeeds, this specific photo I want to take, I can't do it. They just step up the traffic every time. There's bow whistling as well. Right, there's no rest on this one. There's no way I can do this because the sun's out as well now. About 80 vehicles that's just suddenly been picked up as soon as I pass there. Right, so we've got Somerset Race Partnership grey cars and intense warm sunshine, which is irritating because it's making me feel hot. Right, this road's a bit busier than usual. There's been about 150 cars, all in black and blue, sick grey, white section, whatever, with lights on and choking the catalyst. Well, now I've made it to a quieter destination. God's fallen. Seagull says being stabbed with a needle, been with Stephanie, child rapist. When I've not been with fucking Stephanie. Something's caused the creator God to turn, unless the creator's been the devil from the start. Crow says knife dead, molested death. My bird tweets, give you HIV needle, shagged Kimberly. Obviously the creator God's fucking warped, fucking well gone, the creator. I mean well gone. Unless he's the devil. The bird's tweet stops when I push record. White and blue sex timed. Lisa Pike look-alike timed, except she'd be about 15 years older than me, this person that walked past, but of a more sexual looking type, smoother skin than Lisa, but still type I couldn't stand the look of. Bird has been tweeting you're a dangerous paedophile, Justin, repeatedly. You're a pedo, Josh. By Crow. Bird tweet, sorry. And now they've got the helicopter stopped and getting the evidence. And these vehicles to block out the noise from the animals, to defeat the evidence. They do it all the fucking time. Dog barks, you're being knifed, alright, and very clearly, unfortunately. That's what God does in more traffic. This road is once again, this specific road's being violated. The government don't want me to have a say, you see. They don't want me to capture the evidence of animals speaking, you see. When God slips up, it's being fucking controlled very nastily. Incidentally, I'm going to try and photograph the video of this recording when it goes onto the laptop monitor, because I've just managed to film the sexy purple car with the black windows, purple colour, sexual design car, which says sexy purple on it. While walking back to the road to take photographic evidence of a laughing smile on a car, you had a We Can Drop van and Grannies for You van. That's Grannies, spelt Grannies, and then the number 4, and then the letter U. Right, I just had to let some people past. Michael Winehouse van on the road ahead, I think it is anyway. I didn't see the writing, it looks like it. I can tell by the state of the van. Right, I've just almost stepped in human shit in the middle of the path. Right, there's a new voice sound coming from Crow Bird saying it knows it. That's why it's doing it. Fucking falling, ain't he? Alright, we're basically Crow saying gonna tear your genitals apart in the fire of hell. There's a new voice sound, that's what's happened. No, I didn't catch it. There's another set of fucking voice sounds. I don't need to mention this, but I'm going to mention it anyway, because it's such a bloody boring walk, you know. Yeovil's not the best place for walks. We're just past the area, or around the area. Oh, I've got tapping under my feet again. Keep getting these paranormal taps under my feet. It's been going on since 2019, it's just happened again. But that's not what I wanted to say. It doesn't matter. Right, 2 bearded people, I had to make fucking room for them to get past. Right, they need to take up about 4 fucking paths to get past, by the way. With teenage girls with their boyfriends following. I don't know if they're connected to the same people. Basically saying, because they can see my t-shirt with my jungle tracks on it. They basically said, what was it they said? I've written it down. They got to do away with that paedophile crap. Supposed to be listening to fucking normal music, fucking strange cunt. Bike time to erection and blue car. This is a catalytic converter hot point, by the way. I haven't reached there yet, but there's cars. 2 cars at catalytic converter hot point, grey, blue. There's a lady aged about 25, 23, 24, 25. No problem, just walk past. She's on her phone. But I did notice there was police sirens that were loud in a deliberate way as that lady passed me. Right, I've just had a conversation with someone. I just had a rest as well because I'm a bit sore. You know, I mentioned that person. I've got to make sure this person's out of the way. Hang on a minute. Yeah, there's a lady that looks like Gemma Ferguson, and she just stopped, said, "You come up here frequently?" Yes. So I just said yes. Just a general walk I do because I get bloody black sick on the road. So I just grey, right? Yeah. So yeah, I just quickly spoke and said I do this quite frequently. Said Yeovil's not exactly the most exciting place. She sort of didn't really comment on that. She had a different theory. I can't remember what she said, but she sort of changed the subject. So she said, so we got to a point where I said, she said something, I can't remember what it was, and I sort of gave my age of 43. When I said I was 43, she just said, "Well, best get going." That's what she said. That she better get going, and she sort of gave an evil look as she did, and that was it. Right, this person that looks like Gemma Ferguson, if they're trying to do a replacement, it's not going to work because that sort of person doesn't seem to like me. these setups have always been twisted and hell-bent and against me, but there could have been like some sort of suggestion, or they tried to apply it, or they tried to link me up. Maybe this is back in the lockdown period. Maybe the setups weren't menacing, or they had but it's too late for that now. But either way, just as a theory, in a fictional reality, just supposing they try to replace it with that Gemma that's looking like it's walking in my direction, it's not going to happen, because one, she's about 10 years younger than Gemma, or not quite that, but something, I don't know what, a bit younger than Gemma, smoother skin than Gemma. When she first looked at me, very first time I first noticed her on this path, she looked at me and smiled, and as if to say alright. But then there was times where things were a bit not so great, few remarks, until I saw her today, which I just mentioned. I'm expecting a very negative walk across the bridge shortly, because there's been about 200 cars down there in the last 5 minutes. It's only just started calming down, but whether that's going to be the case when I get to the bridge, I don't know. Right, it's time to step up the traffic going over the bridge. Right, overhanging bicycle on the back of a car. Time to rip my arms off. Choke my catalyst, loads of black and blue, loads of gliding. A man about 50 plus years of age listening to hip hop, today's hip hop. Bloody hell. At my age you wouldn't be listening to that. But I'm 10 years younger than that.